Ding it ding, ding it ding. All right, everyone. Welcome back to news reviews. I guess it's been a while since I've done this actually. But today, uh, can you guys see what this is? It's the triple drive booster, which is supposed to be coming out on this Friday. So pre-orders, you already got the pre-orders here in Malaysia. It just arrived today. But I'm not gonna open it now. I'm gonna open it tomorrow. So together with my friends, so look forward to that video. So I'm not gonna open it today. I'm gonna have to open it tomorrow. So yes, you have to see the video on Saturday after I've finished my edits and whatnot. Right. So anyways, let's get straight into what's in the triple drive boosters, particularly. All right, and there's technically two new right lines, and also this set is mostly a reprint set, so there's nothing much going on other than introducing two right lines, new reprint sets, and special stuff. And today, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have to do a little bit of like a set breakdown of what's in this set and whether or not is it worth it for you to get it, for like in this box in general. So just comes to my conclusion in like getting this box as a whole, right? So now before we get straight into the reviews, if you do like what I'm doing right here in this channel, please hit like and subscribe and stay tuned for more. Now, so what I'm gonna do for this set breakdown today is technically I'm just gonna have to do a right line for Luan, which is for Captain Sentry, and then we have Z-Lance for Dragon Empire, right? So that's about it. Now, first off, we have Luan here. Dreaming Bombs Luan, which is technically your generic starter. If you win second, you get to draw one. So you can particularly realize that he has that H protagonist style hair, which is pretty funny, which people actually point out, but yes, so that's what he does. And then we have Hardworking Bombs Luan. So this is a very simple skill, is that when this unit is brought upon by a grade 2 Luan, you solve +1, you look at the top 5 cards for up to one order card, which I don't know the name, or a unit with Revolt Sentinel. From among them, reveal it and add it to your hand. So Soul Rinsing Spring of Dragons, which is the order card, you look at top 5, you search one of those, or you search for a grade 2 or lower unit card without a sentinel and then reveal it and add it to your hand, right? So that's the order card. So what does the order cards do? So Rinsing Spring of Dragons, so you counter +1 if your Vanguard is Luan. You choose up to 2 normal units from your drop zone. You choose one from among them with grade equal or lower than your Vanguard, call it Rearguard Circle, and put the rest on your bottom of your deck in any order, and the called unit gets 5k until the end of turn, so which is quite nice. Bear in mind that you have to, you only can play this order if your Vanguard is Luan, so other than that, it's a pretty much no-no. The judging by like this kind of like a right line, I think it could be a rather generic right line. I'm not so sure, but I think it's pretty good because you can do this for like your early game rush. You can set up your board early for your rushing and etc. Right? So which is good, and then also you can get to filter some stuff. So which is like the whole mechanic of Luan. It's like basically spear riding, just like the V-Era next stage, etc. Right? So and V-Era Rebellion. So it's kind of like points towards that playstyle. So yeah, that's what this order does, and that's what his playstyle is. So that's Luan. And then you have the grade 2 Luan Guard running through the earth, Luan. And when this unit rode by a grade 3 Luan, you choose one of your vanguards and reduce the original's auto ability by CV1 until the end of turn. So it's basically like the grade 2 Gandiva. So a grade 2 Gandiva right line, which gives your vanguards your grade 3 vanguard the reduced CV1 cost. But here is Luan. So Luan is pretty interesting. So we have here Soul Awakening Guard Luan, and the skill is act vanguard once per turn. You soul +1, you search out for your one grade 2 card with Maris in its card name, which is technically his support card, which is like technically the horse. You search it, then you call it a Rearguard Circle, then you shuffle your deck. And the second skill at the end of the battle, where this unit attack, you counter +1, put one grade 2 Rearguard with Maris in its card name to the soul. You will search your deck or hand for up to one grade 3 with Luan Maris in its card name. You write it as stand. And during that turn, the cards that you reveal during a trigger check, when that unit attacks, when Luan Maris attacks, are put at the bottom of your deck instead of your hand. and if you search your deck, shuffle your deck. So long story short, is basically like what I've mentioned earlier. It's just basically V next stage. It's just basically like V Chronofang in that particular playstyle. So after he attacks, you basically just have to counter blast one, and then you shove in a grade 2 Maris rearguard, and then you search your deck or your hand for grade 3 Luan Maris, write it. Then he attacks. Then whatever he drive checks, he has to go to the bot deck, right? So yeah, so that's about what one can do. So if like you guys want to see the art, very nice. I'm not really too impressed with this art, but to be fair, since Luan and Z Lance is encounter unit from the manga, from the Youthquake manga, so I think it should be forgivable, I would say. I mean, this art is technically not that impressive for me personally speaking. I'm not, no offense to the artist, but like, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's nice, alright. It's pretty cool. It's pretty funny with his his hair and whatnot. But that's what it is. And then you have like gut running through the earth. Maris. Maris skill is the skill. When this unit attacks, it's a grade 2 by the way. And is he a double rare? Yes, he is a double rare. Now the skill is that when this unit attacks, if you have a grade 3 or grade 2 Luan in his card name during this turn, he gets 5k power. And when this card is shoved into your soul from the rearguard circle by the ability of Luan's Vanguard, Luan card name Vanguard, and during this turn, if you persona right, you give your Vanguard drive +1, which is hence why it's called a triple drive booster, because these two red lines also, kind of a little bit of like an explanation that Z Lance and Luan can triple drive, in this particular set. So that's why it's called a triple drive booster, drive +1, right? So technically speaking, Maris is your key card, and he is the thing, this horse is the thing that's supposed to give your Vanguard, like, gives another drive and your essential key card for him to keep on spear riding, right? So that's the whole essence of Maris in general. Now, Soul Awakening Maris, I think that's the Soul Awakening Dragon Horse Luan Maris. Continuous Vanguard skill. If your soul during your turn, if your soul have the grade 3 1, he gets a 10k power, so which is nice, which means that he's gonna be a 23k attacker. And since that it allows like in Persona turn, it's gonna be like 33, so it's can reach like magic numbers, high numbers. And then Auto Vanguard skill, at the end of your turn, you choose one grade 3 1 from your soul and write it as rest. So yeah, it's quite nice. It's nothing much special. But then I really like the art of like how this horse is becoming like getting buffed up and all that. So it's pretty cool. I would say like it's really funny and cool at the same time. So yeah, so technically he's like that spear riding stuff. It's like basically like revolt dress. But we kind of like joked around and say this is Luan dressed in a particular sense. So it's like basically just like, power plus 10k is like basically like Gust, in that particular sense. So that's what he does for Luan, so which is pretty interesting. And also we have the Great One support card, which is Benediction Sage, which is a grade 2 it's a grade 1 supposedly, so this is a rare card. If this unit continues rearguard circle, if this unit is boosting a unit with Luan or Maris in its card name, this unit gets 5k power, so it's essentially a 13k booster. And then the second skill is that auto rearguard circle. When this unit boosts your Vanguard, choose up to one normal unit with Luan or Maris in its card name from the drop zone, put it at the bottom of your deck. If you do, you counter blast one and you draw one. So which means that she's a draw engine, and she can do your like shenanigans of like botting deck in order for you to like make sure that you have a Luan Maris to ride on next turn. So it's technically like that revolt. It's technically like revolt in a sense, right? So yeah, it's not that bad, I would say. So this is the whole generic stuff of what one can actually do. And now we are coming to Z Lance. Z Lance is the Dragon Empire the right line for this set. So we have the generic starter. If you went second, get draw one. So I also find his art pretty amusing as well. So like very funny and like he looks pretty derpy. Anyways, we have also like the great one as well. So the Hopeful's Blacksmith Z Lance. Then this unit is placed by riding on the grade 0 Z Lance. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to one card with Rock Iron in this card name from among them. reveal it and add it to your hand, right? So wrought iron is basically just one of the, I would say, like the archetype, or like the archetype of like some of the of this particular right line. So yes, that's what it's supposed to be. And then we have a wrought iron dragon Z lance. So here it is. So when this unit writes from a grade 1 Z lance, if you search your deck for up to one forge, if I'm not mistaken, search up to one forge card and reveal it and add it to your hand. Now, not the Token Rumble Forge, okay? You're not to be confused with the Token Rumble Forge. This one is supposed to look at your search your deck for this grade 2 forge, okay, which will be very essential in this deck as well. Now, this is pretty interesting because this order card is actually a set order. It's not like a normal order. It's not a blitz order as like as some decks actually do. It's not like Eternal Thunderbolt. But this one is a grade 2 set order, which means that this will be the first Dragon Empire deck that consistently use the set order as its as its mechanic. I'm not sure. I mean, like, you can discount Jiva because like Jiva's like PR set order technically doesn't revolve around that playstyle. You can play it or you cannot play it, but this one, the grade 2 forge is really essential in this particular deck, right? So what does this the card do, right? Blazing Wrought Iron Workshop is a set order, so it's a set order forge. You can only play this card if you have a Vanguard with Z Lance, which is pretty obvious. Act Order Zone, you rest itself in the Order Zone, you choose one of your units and it gets 5k until the end of turn. If you choose a Wrought Iron in its card name, that unit gets Intercept and Shield plus 5k until the end of your opponent's next turn. So even if you chose a unit with a Wrought Iron in its card name, the power increase on this stays for that one turn zone. So what does this mean, right? So essentially, if you rest this order card, you can give one of your rear guards, presumably, preferably a Wrought Iron, and that unit will have to get 5k until the end of that turn only. Whatever applies to the opponent's next turn will be the intercept and an extra 5k shield. Okay, so that is like pretty nice, which means that your grade 1 can technically like intercept as well. Your grade 0 can, I really like this. I think there is a grade 1 wrought iron if I'm not mistaken, right? So basically just get the 5k increase shield and then can get intercept, right? So which is really good and also applies to your next turn as well. Now we have Wrought Iron Dragon King in Z Lance. Now I can say this arc actually hits pretty hard because like it kind of reminds me of like those Buddy Fight arcs, like not gonna lie, it kind of like reminds me of that time. So Z Lance skill is also like pretty interesting. So the skill is that when this unit is placed by riding on a Z Lance with its card name, so which is a grade 2 Z Lance, you soul +1, you search your deck or drop zone for up to one set order card, reveal it and add it to your hand. And if you search your deck, you shuffle your deck. So which is pretty straightforward, which means that your grade 2 forge is a maximum 4-off. So if you discard it, you can basically just bounce it back to your hand and then you can just play it, or either or like otherwise you can just like search your deck and just put it into your hand, then you set it, right? So pretty straightforward. And auto Vanguard once per turn, when this unit attacks, counter +1 and this unit gets drive until the end of turn, right? So that's what I meant. So it's triple drive booster, Z Lance gets a drive +1, Luan Maris gets Luan gets drive +1 as well, so which is interesting. So if the ability of a forge in your order zone chose your units 3 or more times this turn, at the end of the battle, you stand this unit and it gets plus 10k power and drive -3. So technically speaking, since that this forge set order, by the time that you're in like grade 3 or whatnot, you can basically just rest, and then you can just give like your Wrought Iron plus 5k power, and then you use this ability 3 times for this set order this turn, then he can withstand 10k power, but unfortunately he will have drive -3, so which is kind of like a bummer. But then again, the restanding is gonna be like very very scary, and not to mention that if you're gonna have to check the DEOT, this is where you're gonna have it shanks the most because it restands triple drive, and then you get to attack again, but then I think you can free drive again, I think, until the end of turn, and then by the time that you can restand it last time for the one last time, I think the drive will be lost, but that's okay because I think you can probably do a lot of things if you check the red OT. So then again, Z Lance is a pretty interesting mechanic, but also since this is like a new right line or whatsoever stuff, right? It's technically a little bit slow. I think it's gonna supposed to be like a turn 4 deck, like whatever is prior to prior to her getting the grade 1 Eva promo. So basically you really have to start setting by the time you're in like grade 2, then set at the grade 3, then by the time your next persona you're gonna have to set 3 already. So technically this is supposed to be like a turn 4 deck, which is a bit above it's not too bad, I would say, but then the restand is like pretty much doesn't really happen by the time you're in by the time you're in turn 4. But then again, the triple drive doesn't really reduce the whole the essence of this deck, because you can basically just triple attack and then just triple drive. So I think that's probably still nice for just the cost of just under last one. So I think it's nice as well. And then we have Wrought Iron Dragon Soldier, Lightning Surge Dragon. So the skill is when this unit is chosen by a Forge ability in your order zone, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Z Lance, he gets resist until the opponent's next turn, so which is pretty interesting and pretty nice. And when this unit attacks, Alter Vanguard skill, when this unit attacks, if this unit was chosen by a Forge ability, you counter last one and draw one, so which is quite nice. So not only he gets resist, he also allows you to draw for that consistent draw engine as well, so it's quite nice. Not to mention that this art kind of reminds me of like Eradicators as well. So yeah, I think this is pretty interesting and pretty nice. This is a very good support card for Z-Lance. And last but not least, we have like Wrought Iron Dragon General. What's his name? Fierce Galer Dragon, right? So when this unit is a grade 3 by the way, so which is like pretty interesting. It's a grade 3 double rare. Oh no, it's a triple rare actually. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if this unit was chosen by a Forge ability this turn, he gets 5k, so becomes an 18k until the end of battle, and then Soul Blast 2, you choose one of your opponent's Vanguard and retire it. So Field Wipe, Restanders, Triple Drive, cannot be resist, Draw Engine. Z-Lance is pretty, I would say, a pretty stable and very consistent deck, judging by your playstyles of it, but then again, it's a turn 4 deck. It's gonna be like a very bit of, you have to like play tempo with this deck. It's kind of like a bummer, but hey, it's still a good support card. It's still a good right line nonetheless. But yes, that's about it. And now for this particular set, actually we have a new Regalis piece. So this new Regalis piece is called a Bracing Angel Ladder. So this is a normal order. This is a grade 3 Regalis piece. It's a triple rare. Of course, bearing in mind that since this is a Regalis piece, you can only have one of these, and you can use it once per game. Now the skill is pretty interesting. So the skill is that draw one, you put this card into your soul, then until the end of your opponent's next turn, during the player gets your Vanguard all gets 5k power, and all of your Vanguards cannot be chosen by card effects and cannot be put in any other place other than the Vanguard circle, right? So which is interesting. Yeah, 5k, all of your Vanguards cannot be chosen by your opponent's card's abilities, cannot be put to anywhere besides the Vanguard circle by your opponent's card's ability. So which means that if you bind it, it doesn't remove. If you manage to put it into your soul for like clean sweep, it doesn't really affect anything. So that's pretty good, and not to mention it's a very defensive option. It's like anti field wipe card, which means that in this particular meta, maybe Shiranui is unable to clear you. This makes a lot. I think it's just like shutdowns a lot of like very offensive board wipe, field wipe decks like Gantiva, Shiranui, and things that probably have to pick and choose I don't know, what other thing, like Narukami for example. I think it's kind of like shutdowns those kinds of decks in general, so which is good, and it also provides you like an 18k base, so which is pretty funny. And not to mention that if you play this card in Griffogira, Vortex is gonna be like a 23k at base, so it's gonna give your opponent, it's gonna give your opponent a hard time to swing those numbers to you. And I would say this is technically a very welcoming Regalis piece. Now it's good, But what are the odds that people will play this? We will see. Actually, we don't really know like how often people play this. I think like for Beetle is like in some other decks that you can't really play much of this kind of like Regalis piece. You know, because like since Regalis piece is you can only play one per deck, and like some decks needs it, some decks don't really use it. Like I'm gonna give you an example, like Bastion and Dredgework will play Regalis piece. Like you know that for Beetle Pseudo game, Gram Grace might need to play Gratis Cartel. So you know there's those kind of things. But then I'm not saying that this is a bad Regalis piece. I'm pretty sure that is a very good Regalis piece. But then you have to see what's the usage rate of this Regalis piece. But judging by this meta, I think like I think that the only thing that kind of like retires your board and like getting chosen is like practically like Shiranui. Dredgeworld is probably also can shut down. It will shut down Dredgeworld because like your back row rear guards essentially don't get to get retired if like you Dredgeworld use that Ignis use the back row retire skill to retire you. So that's pretty good. So it's a very nice Regalis piece nonetheless. And nonetheless, we can see that there's like some sort of like a ruling in regards to this Regalis piece. So with the new Regalis piece, you get to access a new kind of protection effect for your rear guards, which will prove useful against most control heavy or remove heavy matchups like such as Gandiva, Shiranui, Dredgeworld, Baba Sagra, etc. Right? Since intercepting, however, they need to have to clarify something. Now, since like what about forced intercepts in general, like the skills that force your opponents to intercept? Now, they clarify that since intercepting is an action performed by you, and ladder only prevents stuffs that happen because of an opponent's card effect, skills that force intercept will still work regardless. And then non-targeting effects that locked cards will not move your rear guard, so they will be still locked, such as like Blast the Joker, Transal's Messiah, Flageolet. I'm not sure. I don't probably Flageolet, right? I have to. I think Transal's is like one thing. I think like, and if they say like target like bots, that doesn't really move your rear guards, like say locking in general, so they'll still lock. Not targeting effects, you know, like say lock the entire board, it will still work. So that's how I understand this supposed to be. So Transal's will still have to like, doesn't really work against like this Regalis piece. If you excuse me, my throat's kind of a little bit dry, so yeah. Okay, anyways, I have a lot to go through today actually. Now, what about like Vermilion Eternal Thunderbolt, right? If Vermilion use this set order, right? Not set order, this Eternal Thunderbolt order. When the rear guard is hit, as per Thunderbolt, all of the retired rear guards should be bound as a replacement effect. But since Angel Ladder protects them from leaving the rear guard circles, these rear guards will stay on, or these rear guards will stay on the rear guard circle. So meaning that they don't get to bind, they don't get to remove themselves from the board, right? So which is pretty interesting, which means that it shuts down Dragonic Kaiser's Vermilion's deck in one particular turn. Shiranui Oboro procs at the beginning of your start right phase, where if you say if all of your rear guard circles are occupied, the force call will call one of the original rear guards to be retired and sent to drop a per rule action. But since the newly called unit will not be retired as per Angel Ladder, and you will remain in the RC until the end of turn. So let's say if you use Oboro still beginning of a right phase, you choose one choose one card from your drop zone and call it. But until the end of turn, that card cannot be targeted and will be remain there until the end of that turn. So that's about it, right? So that's to give you a general understanding and the rulings of how Regalis piece is supposed to work. So that's about it. Now this will be the most interesting part. So we're gonna get to the reprints. Now 5 reprints, 5 nations getting reprinted. They will be like Stoichia, Dark States, Dragon Empire, Captain Sanctuary, and Frontgate in general. So for them, they will be reprinting rares, double rares, and then at least 8 triple rares in almost all nations, and also a very special rarity as well. So for Stoichia, we have the Great One Grantia PR, we have the Aurora PR, we have the Lianon Great One PR, and then effect triggers. So all nations are gonna get the effect trigger reprint, which is kind of nice. And then we have Claudine. Surprisingly, with Claudine, we have Yi Wandering Soul. Okay, Clouded Miasma and Seared Roll, and then the Rorowa Order, and then the Grade 3 Magnolia. Now for this particular, I'm not gonna like say like how do I like, I'm gonna have to rate this reprints in a separate video one day. So I'm gonna like make a tier list of which reprint is good, which reprint is not that good, which reprint is absolute jack shit, because some of them are really literally jack shit, and I can watch for some of them. But in general, I think Stoichia gets a very good solid reprint. So you can see Bianca, Grade 3 Rorowa, OG Zolga, and Magnolia Elder. And then we have BT06 Lianon, Resonance Dragon, and the 2 Maples. So which means that the glitter sets will also will getting a reprint this time round. So we have the SIRs, which is the Special Illustration Rare, which means it's the alternate art for some of the effect triggers. So all of them, every nation is gonna get one of them. So this will be the effect front, effect trade, effect draw. So then all of them looks pretty cute and pretty nice. So that's nice. So we gets a very nice set. For Captain Sanctuary, we have the Blasters and the Buster Duff PBO and the MLB Emeline and Cridona is also pretty nice. Tegria Order, effect triggers for Captain Sanctuary, which is nice. And then we have the Grumgrace, Grade 3 PR. Bastion was kind of like a weird odd one out. Zest is good. Zest is a double rare. Enucleate, Sequana, the Tegria Order, and then we have this Bastion card in BT07. I don't know why you're there. And then we have the triple rares, which is like Tegria and Obsculate, so which is interesting, so because it's gonna make your make your trigger sets, like your glitter sets much more interesting and cheaper to build. I would say like you can get this at a very low price at this point. I mean, to be fair, some decks are already like cheap enough in the first place, like Chaos is already pretty cheap. But if you want to build Ever, I think this is really the best set for you to start off, because like right now like price is really dropping, and not to mention that like Tegria and Ever decks is like pretty solid, I would say. Ever also used to be in the meta, so it's like a pretty good set for you to pick up. And then not to mention you have all of the youth perks and the bastions. You have like Bastion Prime, Youth Perk, Skyfall Arms, Gust, and Tempest. So which means that for Youth Perk players who wants to build Youth Perk but never had the chance to build Youth Perk, now's the great time for you to build it, because it got reprinted. And then this here is the Kettle effect triggers, so which all of them looks pretty sexy, pretty hard, very nice. Chef's Kiss, and that's about it. For Stoichia and Cattle Sanctuary. And then we have for the front gate, we have the Evergrade 1 promo, which is nice because she used to be very expensive. Now that it got reprinted, and I don't think it's like it's not that hard to get it. You can get it for cheap price. The Grade 2 one is like pretty meh, but then the rest of the effect triggers is nice. We have the prison support as well for the Grade 2. For the double rest, Avant Ganda, this one, what's the Darugente? Ada Dargente is also pretty nice because Avant Grade 2 order is like this. Grade 2 PR is also like kind of expensive back then, so it's like pretty nice. And then we have Seraph, Grade 2 order, base. And then Scout B heroes, and then you have the prison, and then you have the blue laboratory, and then you have the Grade 1 like Grade 2 Seraph, which is a promo originally, now reprinted, so which is kind of nice. And then Pure Light is good. I definitely welcome Pure Light because it's definitely one of the stronger Grade 4 decks out there that doesn't really lost its touch. So it's like pretty good, and you can get it for cheap already. Grade 1 Office, not Grade 1 Office, BT01 Office is like meh for me. Gravidia support, meh. It's pretty not that great. But we have Velstra, which is nice. We have Ewa, which is also pretty nice. Grade 3 Mikani not too good, I would say, because like it's pretty cheap. You can get it for 5 ringgit. But the Grade 1 Mikani is pretty good. It's probably pretty nice because it's like streaming like around like 50 ringgit per pre-reprint. Now hopefully after reprint it's getting like better this time round. So effect triggers for like run gate, so quite nice. I would say like some of them are pretty special. I would say like the SIR is quite nice. So that's for the run gate. Now I'm gonna have to talk about Dark States because Dark States is actually pretty jack shit. Um, if you allow me some time to rant about this, rant about this whole Dark State stuff, I play Dark States. And I'm hoping I'm gonna expect more, but the fact that they didn't reprint Brainwash was an absolute sin for them not to do. And then they have to reprint Stephanie, because why the hell not, right? Why the F not they have to reprint Stephanie of all things, and why they have to reprint Tony of all things, right? So it's pretty effing stupid to be fair, and I'm kind of like very tired to see like why do you these two are an absolute shit card in Dark States in general. If you're not playing Barrett Magnus, then you're not gonna play the pony. Otherwise, I don't see a reason for you why you have to play this pony in the first place. But then again, this Chaos order is pretty nice. Chaos, I'm pretty sure that this order is also pretty expensive back then. So yeah, I mean it's quite nice. And then with the effect triggers, it's okay. I would really want them. Enforcer is good. Now, Enforcer is not a bad PR, but then like since Graduate Ignis came out, Enforcer is not really a huge, I would say like a huge key card for you to play in Graduate anymore. I'm not sure where you want to dump her in. Maybe if you want to build her in like Graduate Mask, you can feel free to build it. This Bruce support is absolute jack shit as well, because there is no point at any point. I don't understand. Maybe it's Japan, they are cooking some stuff. I don't know the reason why they want to reprint this Bruce cards in general. They could have reprinted Bottis, they could have reprinted Gangra, they could have reprinted Sargon, Brainwash Swiller. But no, they have to reprint Bruce cards. Of course it is, because why not? Falcate is great. I don't mind Falcate. Falcate is actually pretty nice. This Grade 1 Chaos Order is pretty meh, but it still works, I'll guess, if you're playing Chaos. The rest can just go F itself, because it's absolute jack shit again, and I really didn't like this. Now this is even worse because Tamayura, of course, they have to reprint like Ririmi and Raramis. This is the reason why Brainwash doesn't get an extra slot for like that triple rare slot, because Ririmi and Rarami essentially has taken 2 slots for Tamayura, and Dark States in BT05. So this is very bad. I felt like for me, thank God I did not do a nation pre-order. Otherwise, I am like in the gutter in the shit, because it doesn't really profit me. It's like I don't really play Tamayura. I don't really know who actually used these cards in like Dark States unless you're playing like Luquia, which means that like you call Ririmi Rarami, you soul blast 1, draw 1, and then you shove your opponent's rear guard to the soul. So okay. And the rest was just meh, actually, to be meh. Now for this one, Grade 4 Bruce, debatable. People will play this eventually. Not much people, so that's about it. Grade 4 is nice. Chaos, nobody actually really plays Chaos. While Graduate and Rogue Agro is cool, I will definitely say that it's definitely welcome, because Ignis is here. You're definitely gonna have to get 1 copy of Graduate. You're gonna have to play 4 copies of Rogue Agro. So that's really nice. I welcome this. That's the only good reprints in Dark States, and the rest can go F themselves, right? And then you have this effect triggers, pretty nice. I want them. Hopefully I don't really bang them in this box, because I just want to make a profit. If anything, I just want to sell anything that is not Dark States. So if I could get one of these effect triggers, that would be quite of a bonus for me. I don't want effect friends, by the way. Do not give me effect friends, because I have an abundance of those. I do not want to hit one of those. I just want an effect draw or an effect crit, and I'll call it a day. And that's about it. So that's the Dragon Empire. No, sorry, that's the Run Gate and the Dark States. Now for Dragon Empire this time around we have Ardor Hatchet, Trickstar, why, of course, Broken Toys, good, welcome, definitely welcome. Ardor Hatchet is also good because Lotte can use it. Effect triggers, okay, that's good. Megalonosuchi was pretty interesting. I would say that this is a very good stepping stone for this set for people who are really interested in Megalonosuchi. Folktale, yes, absolutely, very nice reprint. Deals right now. Debatable, Sharpta, shit. Baba Sagra, I don't know why. Spear, yes. If like Baba Saga players who have a hard time finding this spear, yes, you can get this. Tamayura, debatable, it's still nice, but debatable. Trick Moon, absolutely good reprint, very nice. Tamayura, meh. Radiant Linear, okay, yes, Radiant Linear is actually good in Roro 1X, so why not, right? So it's kind of nice. So what else we have here for Dragon Empire? Esperidia, absolutely very good, very stable. Mahanivana, if you're playing this Esperidia, you might as well just get Nirvana, Mahanivana. Jiva is okay, I accept Jiva. Garo Warina, debatable, but I think with how crossover dress in this meta right now, I'm not sure if that's necessary, but still a good card regardless. I think Jiva is also pretty nice because right now Jiva is about like 80 to 100 ringgit right now in Malaysia, so I think it's pretty good and it's not that bad, not gonna lie. And then we have the SIR effect triggers, which is pretty good for the fronts, for the crits, and also for the draws, so which is kind of nice, so good. And then we have this FFRs, which is an extra. So one thing I want to explain to everyone is that this box will definitely have one SIR confirmed, which we're gonna have to you have to see like tomorrow. But the FFRs is basically like an extra, so if you get an FFR, it will be pretty nice. But there are some cards in this set that doesn't have an FFR, are not in this set. So which means that some of the cards that are not in this set will definitely get an FFR, but for this page, Emposa is gonna get an FFR. Megalon Osuchi, I don't remember what card is this. Zetlans, Luan Maris, the Gram Grace Grade 3, Dalgente, and then you have these ones. You have Barfo Mendes, you have what's the name of that Batman? And then you have this Shaolin Dragon, and then you have this card, and then you have Halbe, and then you have this Blaze Maiden. So these are the cards that are magazine promos, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like magazine promos that are not out, but they will be like not in this set, but they will be getting an FFR treatment this set. So hopefully, if you get Halbe, it will be very good because it's very nice as well for Dota players to bling out. Now there's also SIR as well, so almost every triple rare, I would say, will have to get the SIR treatment. So essentially speaking, all of these arts are from the Wheel Dress Season 2 ending, which, like, if you see snippets of the alternate arts, that's where they get their that art from, so which is pretty good and pretty nice. So we have over here Jiva, Baba Sagra, Trickstar, Gridon, Viamon's Boost, Drajules, Rock Argo, Stephanie, Orphis, the BT01 Orphis, Sarah White, Bravidia, Velstra, TD Bastion, Youthberg Skyfall Arms, Zorga, and the OG Zorga, OG Magnolia, and BT06 Lianon. So all of them have really nice artworks. I really love it, but some of them are absolutely jack shit because Stephanie gets an SIR, of course, why not? Trickstar, okay, debatable. Great, BT01 Office and BT01 Bastion, it's second worst, arguably, I would say. Because like all of this art looks very nice, to be fair. Like Drajubo, like look at Drajubo. Drajubo is like amazing. Rock Argo also looks very amazing. And then you have Stephanie. Thank goodness. Okay, and I feel bad for the guy. If anyone of you open an SIR Stephanie, my condolences, because someone actually bought 12 boxes like in WhatsApp today. Yeah, I mean in WhatsApp group chat today, and like people actually bought 12 boxes of the Triple Drive booster, and that guy actually banged 3 SIR Stephanies. My condolences, my mates. So that is the shittiest reprint I've ever seen. Not to throw shade at the art, not to throw shade at some of people who might appreciate this, but it's the skill. It's, man, who plays Stephanie? Unless you're playing Viamon's Bruce. Okay, that's debatable. Jiva 4 off, Flower Sagra 4 off, Trickstar 4 off if you're playing Jiva, of course. Gridon, one of these, Viamon's 4, Drajuot 1 copy. Rock Argo 4 copies, Stephanie 0, Office 0, Seraph 1 in the right line, Gravidia 1 or 2 if you're playing Gravidia Mask, 4 Velstra. I'm talking about like the thing about like, you know, what are the frequencies that people might get this in like play this in their decks. Bastion, debatable, maybe 0, maybe 1 because you can just discard it for the Twin Drive. Youth Perk, Skyfall Arms definitely 3 to 4, Zorga just 1, Magnolia 1, Lianon 1 or 2 I would say. But I mean, to be fair, if you want to blink out all of this, like some of the decks, I think like the numbers that I say, like 4 copies of Jiva is fine, 4 copies of Aura Sagra should be fine. Then these are all very good arts, right? So props to them. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Not to say that these are bad cards. These are very nice arts. It's just that some of the decisions here in this reprints is just downright disappointing. Now, they also introduced something called the SEC, which is the hot stamp version of the, you know, nation stamp version of the SIRs. So here is the SEC versions of everything. Some of the placements I can agree with, some of the placements that like the nation placements are kind of bad, but it's fine. And then not to mention that the very cool part about this is that they have the nation name etched on the top left or the top right of the card, so which is like really interesting. And like it's good to have one of these lime. It's so beautiful. It's like it has the textures if you see on screen, it's quite nice. So yeah, that's about it. So really nice. And hopefully maybe if I can get an SEC or get an SIR, I will get an SIR because like it's confirmed 1 per box. So if I get an SEC, it will be like pretty chef's kiss already. Okay, now I've been rambling around so long, I'm running out of energy right now to like go further. Ooh, that's a mouthful. I'm just going through some of the cards that I'm like supposed to say. And then you have the quick start decks, which will be selling for 700 yen, which is around like 30 ringgit here in Malaysia. They will be selling on the 19th of January next year. So each nations will get all like this one start deck. So it's including lyrical, which is pretty interesting. Because like the start decks and all of the start decks, they only have the 5 nations, but like not lyrical. So maybe for this Narukami, it has a Narukami statics. For this, for Dragon Empire, this one could be like the Dark Irregulars Moon static. This one is definitely mecha, so it's like either Nova Raptors aesthetic. This is an angel, so has that angel feather, and then like someone of like a martial general. So it's like Aqua Force-ish, and then of course it's Bermuda. So that's lyrical in essence. So unfortunately for this 30 ringgit stuff, it's pretty hilarious. Only the main grade 3 Vanguard and the Sentinel will have abilities in each quick start deck, which means that for 30 ringgit you basically just have to pay for the boss and the Sentinels, which is a bummer. However, there are some things that are really interesting with this quick start decks as well. So in this particular quick decks, start decks, there will be 2 PRs which will be included in the quick start deck. One will be randomly chosen from each 3 types. The other will be randomly chosen for 2 types. One of them will be very hard to get. Okay, so like I think like 1 out of 3 and then like 1 out of 6, right? So yeah, and the details would be this. This would be the PRs. Now, for that particular PRs that I've mentioned earlier, you will get a random effect draw, effect crit, effect front, one of those 3, and also a PG, an effect PG, which will be coming out on the next BT14, and you have a high chance, not a high chance, you have a very low chance for you to get an Elementaria Sanctitude, which is good. So essentially, this quick start deck, we pay 30 ringgit in 700 yen terms. We pay 30 ringgit, 20 to 30 ringgit, just for us to gacha a random effect trigger and either a PG or a Sanctitude. So it's actually what this means that we're gonna have to gacha, like we have to spend to just gacha these things, which is questionable. But Sanctitude reprint was very well welcome, and I don't understand why they couldn't reprint this as a box topper in Triple Drive Booster. It's good for them to reprint Sanctitude. Is good. It's not that it's a bad reprint. It's good. Why can't they just put them in the Triple Drive Booster? It would make things way better and way easier, isn't it? However, the effect PGs is definitely a welcome move, because I would say that, like, if you really want to buy like 4 of these, and hopefully you can just like, especially you have to spend like you know, how will I say that, you have to actually like spend like 100 to 120 ringgit just for you to max out that 4 PGs is kind of like funny at the same time. It's sad and funny, but also you also get the chance for you to get the effect triggers of your respective nations. So if you're gonna get Dark States, you're gonna get Dark States triggers and effect PGs. If you get Story TR ones, then okay. Which is not as bad for me personally when I look at this, like the angle of how they want to release these cards. Which means that if you want to talk about the effect triggers, you just have to put it in. Like you just like buy for it for like 30 ringgit, you just like get for it, and then it's probably around the price for you to get a full-blown full build deck. You know, like effect triggers right now, hopefully this will drop price lah, you know. Hopefully, like say, I'm gonna give you an example, like Dark States effect draw, that's like 40 ringgit. So as of the time being, 40 ringgit to 30 ringgit per piece. So essentially, if you buy one of these, like basically you just essentially just max out for your draw triggers, which is, if you're lucky enough for you to get that trigger plus a PG, and it's pretty good itself on its own, right? So I say this is a nice move and definitely a very welcoming one. So yes, that's pretty interesting, pretty nice for the SD to, you know, for them to reprint the start decks this week. Now, last but not least, DivineZ next Tuesday stream around like 2 p.m. No, there's like, if it's like 1 p.m. for them, we are 1 hour earlier technically speaking. So which means that we're gonna have to watch this stream like around like I think we have to watch this stream like around like 12 p.m. I think, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, so we have to look at this for like 12 p.m. next Tuesday. Tomorrow will be, for Thursday's stream, they will be revealing like 6 new PRs, tournament PRs for January until February. So so stay tuned to that. I'm not sure what they're gonna print. This time round, which is a very funny one, V promos that also works as a premium promos at the same time. Yeah, and this is a short tournament. Yeah, so you get like one of these. So you have like the Luma Tama and also Aqua Force. So what this essentially is that it's basically cards for essentially calling G Guardians as well. So these are V printed V at the bottom, but they have 5k base, 5k power base shields. So what we have right here is Stealth Dragon Negetsu, Luma Tama, hand. Okay, this will be a trend for every promos that we'll be getting for this card. This card can be used as a card for calling a G Guardian, which is super great, super good. So you don't have to rely on your draw, or rely on your heal triggers to call your G Guardians. And when this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle from hand, it will remove 1 heal trigger from your hand or your drop zone. And this unit gets shield plus 10k for every 2 cards in your opponent's hand, and until the end of the battle. And if your opponent has 4 or less in their hand, you counterblast 1, choose your Vanguard. Gets 5k until the end of turn, which is super great. And then we have Unsinkable Dragon. The skill is that when this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle from hand, also the same thing, remove 1 heal from your drop or hand. Perform the following effects based on which battle it is. If it's the first, you get to counterblast 1, you choose 1 of your Vanguards, and gets continuous. All of your rear guards cannot be chosen by the abilities of your card effects, and gets 5k power, which is very good. And then second to third, this unit gets 20k shield until the end of the battle, so which is really nice. So all of them are technically essentially just a 20k shield plus, which is really good. Hopefully we'll see what other skills that like Gear Chronicles gonna get, Royal Paladins, etc. So it's good. It's good. I think this is a very nice way of like introducing like alternative ways for Hue Guardians to be called in premium. So definitely people will play these cards once in a while. So it means that in premium you have to make room for it. So that's about it. I think that's all for the triple drive set breakdown, as well as some of the additional news for DivineZ, which is the new anime. Now I've been rambling on for so long, and I guess I would say thank you very much for watching. So please stay tuned for like Saturday's video. I'm gonna do this video unboxing video by tomorrow with my friends, because like some of us actually pre-ordered 3 boxes, some of us pre-ordered 5 boxes, so you know which Sultan it is. Yes, that's definitely it. So stay tuned for that triple drive booster unboxing, and also I'm gonna make a tier list of like rating. I'm gonna rate all of the reprints in this particular triple drive booster, which will be after that video is set up. So stay tuned for that. I will see you guys on the next video. This has been Professor Ina095, and to be fair, I'm really tired. You can you can see that my voice is not very enthusiastic. Sorry, not very enthusiastic, because I have to go through a lot of things. I have to talk a lot, so that's about it. Alright, I'll see you guys on the next video. This has been Professor Ina095 signing out. See ya!